Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a like, by leaving a comment, or by subscribing if you have not already done so, or by telling me if you happened to see the Eternals, what you thought of it. I have many words on that, but I will not share them here. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. At the moment when it comes to price news, it says Bitcoin dips from highs. What could trigger a fresh increase? And there's a photo of a man holding a briefcase with a cape flying on a skateboard. Does not make a lot of sense. Bitcoin's dip from its previous highs. I think a lot of these websites have been quite dramatic. One of the major news stories of the day has been that Bitcoin has fallen. Bitcoin has dipped. Where is Bitcoin going now? Ethereum has dropped in price as well. Bitcoin is currently down by 1.5%. Not even joking. I'm not really sure where a lot of this drama came from. I think even at the height of the dip, we were down by around 3 or so percentile points. It says Bitcoin and Ethereum correct gains. Major altcoins turn red. Also around 1 to 2%. There is nothing major at the moment that is down by 20%, 25%, 15%. All the altcoins are down maybe by around 3.5%. Maybe. As once again, Ethereum and Bitcoin are only down by 1.5 to 2 percentile points. Like I said, a little dramatic. This is also the most popular coin news of the day. There was no other. So this is actually basically, this is kind of the end of it right here. It says trader who called Bitcoin's collapse in May predicts that Bitcoin will keep surging, says one altcoin is coiling for a huge breakout. That's kind of the end of the price news. There was no Shiba Inu news. There was no Dogecoin price news. Everything basically focused on Bitcoin and Ethereum dipping or falling in price, and woe is us, where are we going next? I think if we had fallen by 15%, slightly woe is us. However, nope, they're only down by 1.5%, but that's all that every single cryptocurrency news website kept on focusing on. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to be just going back up in price because everything else seems to have worked out for us in the past, especially with all the other charts. Yeah, that's all the price news. Not even joking. There was no XRP news. You kind of get the point. There was no other coin price news out there except that Bitcoin dipped. And without further ado, let's finally jump into it. Next up, Bitcoin Suisse will use the Lightning Network to make Bitcoin transactions both cheaper and faster. It will be the first cryptocurrency payment processor in Switzerland to integrate the technology, according to a press release dated Tuesday. Armin Schmid, head of Bitcoin Suisse, praised the decision, noting that Lightning transactions will play a significant role in scaling crypto apps and driving mass adoption. He said, Lightning transactions enable higher throughput per second at the price of a fraction of a cent, making them a game-changing innovation for crypto applications. End quote. This is fairly obvious. I'm surprised that it took them this long to do it. Not really making a joke. It's that if Bitcoin's main chain, the core, does not get explicitly upgraded to double, quadruple, quadruple transactions, we are going to have a 3 transaction per second Bitcoin main chain forever, ever. So therefore, the only way to get around it, if you want Bitcoin to actually be used as a payment method, the only solution that we currently have right now that's gaining adoption is the Lightning Network. The legend goes, when we have full capacity of the channels, we will have over 1 million transactions per second. Transaction fees will be only 1 Satoshi. And this can also still be changed if we get to a point where 1 Satoshi is equal to $1 in that hyper Bitcoinized future. So this was quite popular. Not saying that it shouldn't have been, but this is kind of the only way forward. If you want Bitcoin to only be used or locked inside of a chamber on a USB device as digital gold, have at it. However, if you actually want to use the thing, we all need to start using Lightning Network, so the adoption by Bitcoin Swiss just kind of makes a lot of sense. Anyway, that's the Lightning Network news. Also kind of popular. I know Bitcoin Swiss is a very gigantic company or well-known within the cryptocurrency space, but I just assumed that they were already using it before, because I don't know how many companies were actually using Bitcoin payments, paying, $28 transaction fees and whatnot. Anyway, that's the Lightning news. And let's move on. In the second, not first, most popular news story of the day, the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook has disclosed that Tim Cook has disclosed that he owns cryptocurrency and said that he thinks it's reasonable to own part of it as a diversified portfolio. Wink. Cook's statement stemmed from an appearance with the New York Times Deal Books host Andrew Ross Sorskin. I don't understand what any of those words mean. The cryptocurrency economy has been in a tier and recently captured $3 trillion in value. Bitcoin money moving up. Value of the economy, $500 billion. Market money. Meanwhile, Apple CEO disclosed that he owns crypto, and the executive thinks that it's reasonable to add it to a portfolio. When asked if he owns crypto, Cook responded, "I do. I think it's reasonable to own it as a part of a diversified portfolio." Furthermore, Cook was asked what he thought about the potential acceptance of cryptocurrency through Apple Pay or otherwise. He said, I think it's something that we're looking at. It's not something we have immediate plans to do. I would sort of characterize it as there are things that I wouldn't do, like our cash balance. I wouldn't go invest that in crypto. Not because I wouldn't invest my own money in crypto, but because I don't think people... Why didn't he just answer yes or no? This is like but because I don't think people buy Apple stock to get exposure to crypto. That's not what the person asked you. They said, do you plan on accepting Bitcoin for iPhones? And anyway, the news is, wink, we found out, I guess now that Tim Cook owns some Bitcoin. I'm going to assume it's Bitcoin and Ethereum, just throwing logic out there. Second most popular news story of the day. Everyone's completely losing their minds. They cannot, for some reason, believe that someone as rich as Tim Cook happens to own Bitcoin. So crazy, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure he was the last rich person to buy it. Wink. If you haven't been here before and aren't noticing my really awkward winks, it's because every single majorly wealthy rich person owns Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is not a secret. I don't know why people needed to hear this man say it out loud when we knew for a fact. Like, it's kind of like when Elon Musk was like, yeah, I own some Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's price shot up by 5%. I was like, you needed to hear him say it? We know that they all own Bitcoin. I don't know how to make this any clearer. Anyway, yeah, so Tim Cook owns cryptocurrencies. He has not revealed explicitly what's in his portfolio, but we can use a big batch of logic to kind of assume at least two of the coins inside of there. And then the other news was him basically saying that right now they're not really thinking about adding crypto for payments, when we know gosh darn well that they are. It's more so just a matter of time. I'm sure they're having discussions about it every single day. But a lot of companies want to. First of all, a lot of companies have been thinking about launching their own coins. That's number one. They want to launch their own coin so that when you are making payments, you're simply doing it through their app, through their coin, and they make all the moolah. So if they start adding other cryptocurrencies, they'll see a minor uptick in payments from outside of this normal economy. People will be using cryptocurrencies, of course, to buy their things and the rumored Apple car and all that other stuff. But once again, I'm still not expecting Bitcoin major usage until we get past a $500,000, $1 million Bitcoin. When people have made a significantly huge, like you've made $185,000 equivalent from Bitcoin because Bitcoin's price is so high and also relatively stable, and we have Lightning Network and yada, 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 I expect people to be buying stuff all the time with that. But until then, you know. So anyway, the major news of the day is another rich person owns crypto. I myself could not believe it. I mean, it's so rare that this happens. It's not like we get news like this every single day, but, you know. Anyway, that's the Apple Bitcoin New York Times Deal Book Conference news. And let's move on. Also, in something that should be everywhere news, but guess what? It's not. 2 carbon neutral cryptocurrency backed ETF funds, or ETFs, are being poised to launch in Canada, offering a greener alternative for institutional investors. That part is wonderful. However, Canada-based asset manager Purpose Investments is ready to launch 2 new crypto-based ETFs on the Toronto Stock Exchange on the 9th of November. That was yesterday, so they've already launched, both of which offer investors a carbon offset. Also amazing. However, Purpose will launch their Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs under the BTCC.J and ETHH.J tickers. Unlike the funds recently launched within the United States, which are futures, these funds will be backed and settled using Bitcoin as the actual underlying assets, means they will be actually collecting and buying and selling and holding Bitcoin and Ethereum and the actual cryptocurrency assets. Why should this be news? Because these are actual spot ETFs. Every single time that we get any type of news about this big that the US is potentially thinking about maybe offering a spot Bitcoin ETF or an Ethereum ETF, cryptocurrency prices actually go up because of everyone's, I can't believe it. And I've been telling you for years, the SEC does not care about this market or many other things. I believe that the SEC is a very special organization who has an underlying goal of just simply making money, and the actual regulation of markets doesn't really matter to them. But of course, that's just my opinion because of the news I've been reading out for the last 4 years. However, whenever we get news that another country, even one next door, has these actual spot Bitcoin ETFs that people have been waiting for since around 2015, doesn't make the news. This was the only article talking about this launching. The only article talking about this. If we had 2 spot Bitcoin ETFs, 1 Bitcoin, 1 Ethereum, we'd be up by a good 28% right now. This is I think the 6th and the 7th actual spot ones launching in Canada. We had 2 just launched in Australia, and there's a couple of other countries that also have them as well. This is quite significant. And then more so, we actually get the numbers. According to the firm's prospectus, Purpose's new Bitcoin fund holds 24,167 Bitcoin, around 1.6 billion US dollars, and the Ether fund has 86,900 Ether, worth around $417 million, or nearly half a billion dollars as well. This was the only news article talking about it. Why these don't get more attention, why people continue to look to a country who does not offer any actual cryptocurrency regulation or rules or taxation, is still charging people when they're trying to buy a candy bar with Bitcoin. Everyone keeps looking to them when the rest of the world has continued moving on. Anyway, it's kind of like the news that we had when the first Canadian Bitcoin ETF launched. I think later that day they had reached, I think, $1 billion worth of Bitcoin inside the fund. $1 billion. If that had made US news about a US, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of the same, once again, I'll say it again, the same exact thing where we are constantly told that we have to pay attention to not only the US, but to Illinois, to Chicago, to the same block that the CME is on when they have Bitcoin derivatives. So if they say that if this place, one street in Chicago says that Bitcoin's price should be lower, for some reason Bitcoin's price falls lower. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? No. Anyway, yeah. 2 new Bitcoin ETFs have launched. Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're spot. They're actually based off of the underlying asset, and Purpose is actually buying up the cryptocurrencies, and also they're carbon neutral. The only website talking about it. The only one, and Bitcoin's price should be up quite high just based off of this news. Anyway, that's that news, and there's a coin looking out at a plane. Whoever makes these, I kind of applaud them because I could never think of something as weird as that. And let's move on. In one of the weirder news stories of the day, SEC Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw has highlighted the benefits of DeFi while warning of the dangers of failing to embrace a protective regulatory framework in a 9th of November opinion piece. The article, titled DeFi Risks, Regulations, and Opportunities, is the first in the inaugural issue of the International Journal of Blockchain Law. In it, Crenshaw outlines her belief that the DeFi community must address the issues with transparency and pseudonymity while coming into compliance with the SEC's rules. This was not a popular news story. It was more of a, this was actually around in a couple of places. I find this fascinating in that over the last year, we've only spoken about it no more than 6 or 7 times, if you actually remember. The SEC has been calling on a number of DeFi projects and anything that is like really decentralized with no central figurehead to basically come forward and to regulate themselves, to tell them, come out of the shadows, tell us who you are, and basically allow us to regulate this decentralized platform that has no actual ruler over it because we want to be the ruler. This has been once again readdressed or respoken about in this actual document right here. I am going to repeat once again the thing that I spoke about 2 days ago, more to elaborate on it a little bit. I told you, I told you that years ago, the people who were talking about the future of the cryptocurrency industry, they never mentioned prices. It was more so they would mention this is going to happen. This will happen to this country. This country will do so and so. Eventually, the adoption will kind of spread out in this way. The idea was that also there would be tons of hurdles, and the hurdles wouldn't be anything major. It would simply be when a new project has launched and calls themselves decentralized, at some point people will be able to pick away and realize that they're not actually decentralized. We know where you were made, who you were made by, and you only have 3 not ledgers, validators. So we can kind of not really decentralized. As that project falls, 3 more would take its place. These would have 15 validators, and they would have no actual, we would maybe know one person who actually went on air to say, hey, we're actually part of this project. The creator, we don't really know, kind of a Satoshi Nakamoto-esque kind of thing. Eventually, regulators would be able to pick this apart as well, and these would also fall apart. From these 3, 9 more would surface. However, 2 of them would make sure to go into the news to declare, we are trying to make tons of money. Of course, they wouldn't say it this way, but that's kind of the idea. The other 7, regulators wouldn't be able to tell who actually made it, when it was made, who created it, or who's validating it. They know the transactions are going through it. They could tell that huge amounts of money are passing through it, but can't really tell. These other 2 would fall apart. And from these 7, they would continue to branch out into even more decentralized ways. We are on the cusp of having private transactions on Bitcoin, or the beginning of private transactions on Bitcoin. Remember earlier in this year, in the end of last year, they were also talking about having Mimblewimble private transactions on Litecoin and many other coins. We are currently at the point where decentralization is going to become so large that it will be, in essence, so saith the prophesizers of many years ago in the cryptocurrency space, that you simply can't regulate it because you don't know who controls it. And who controls it is kind of basically anybody who wants to, who can download the code. So I think it's going to be, once again, a very fascinating future where regulators have an enormous amount of trouble trying to get things under their grasp simply because of technology. So I do agree that usually, especially many times within the DeFi space, there are a lot of issues with like rug pulls and things like that. But if they are properly decentralized and you have hundreds and hundreds of nodes, things like that are usually impossible. If you make it so that you have realistically, if you are, this is just my opinion, if you are transacting through this actual DeFi system on a daily basis, and at some point you can kind of see, hey, someone wishes to withdraw $55 million, that would then require network consensus. Where is this actual address coming from, et cetera, because that could constitute a rug pull, especially if it's from the original address who created the entire protocol. Anyway, yeah, I saw this lying around, thought it was quite interesting. because regulators keep asking people to come forward. And years ago, there was no asking. It was simply they were busting down doors. But you can't really bust down a digital door when there's no location for where this is happening. And let's move on. And oh my goodness, this was the most popular news story of the day. I could not get away from it. It was really everywhere. And I think this is big news because it's a shift for the company. I don't really know. Fintech firm Ripple has announced a new service aimed at finance companies that will allow them to offer cryptocurrency trading to customers. Point one, it seems like Ripple is trying to distance themselves. This is my opinion. I have no idea. I've read through all of the different articles trying to put it together. It feels like, correct me if I'm incorrect, Ripple is trying to distance themselves from just being the XRP company, and now they're trying to make themselves a liquidity provider, cryptocurrency payment company. We allow you to do everything from our systems kind of thing. I'm hugging the microphone. I'm not sure if you can see it, but that's kind of what's going on. Ripple unveiled the Liquidity Hub service in a blog post on the 9th of November, touting a crypto-first future in which the company will need to have a strategy for crypto assets. The new service will target its enterprise clients, giving them access to digital assets from a range of providers such as exchanges, market makers, and all over-the-counter trading desks. It is currently in the preview stage and will launch in 2022. The Liquidity Hub will initially support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, Bcash, and XRP, logically, with availability varying by geographical location or according to the announcement. The company plans to expand its crypto assets offerings and include other tokens, including NFTs, in the future. RippleNet General Manager Ashish Birla said that the company has been using this crypto sourcing technology to support its on-demand liquidity product for nearly 2 years. He added, "Our customers would want to access the same trusted one-stop shop for buying, selling, and holding crypto assets that has powered our extensive network with financial institutions." As it looks right now, once again, it looks like Ripple is trying to be not a Coinbase, but a one-stop shop for everything that a company could need if they are in or are trying to get into the cryptocurrency space. You need access to exchanges, you need access to liquidity, you need access to Bitcoin, you need access to so-and-so. I think this could logically be their step in saying, we are, as a company, no longer just XRP focused, and therefore the SEC can finally get off of our back. This is my assumption. I don't really know, but it kind of seems that way. This was all over the place news. It says Ripple announces plan for a crypto liquidity hub. Ripple to launch a liquidity hub for crypto enterprises next year. Ripple launches new product that allows financial service firms to offer cryptocurrency trading. It says Ripple plans crypto liquidity platform. These were only 6 of the actual tabs. This was haunting me. I opened up one of the tabs and I was like, cool, maybe I'll talk about it. And it kept on appearing. Every scroll, every click, it was all over the place. So, like I said, it appears as if, to me, this is their way of not only expanding their business, as Ripple is very well known and actually very much used in parts of Asia and also the Middle East, but also allowing a way for them to say, while we are tied to XRP, we are actually working with all these other cryptocurrencies and these other projects, and therefore, et cetera, you kind of get the idea. Yes, very popular news. I wish them the best of luck, and I mean that honestly. If you can do it, go do it. Don't talk about it. You can tell us once that it's being done, and then actually make sure that you do the project correctly. So, I assume sometime next year, we should have a Ripple NFT platform. We should have a Ripple DeFi platform. We should have a Ripple... They don't have a cryptocurrency exchange, I don't think. I'm actually quite shocked that Ripple as a company doesn't have a cryptocurrency exchange, but it looks like they're going to be getting one, ? Anyway, that's the Ripple news. And let's move on. And to finish things off, in one of my most liked cryptocurrency news stories in a while, maybe about a week, it says the Bank of England says that a central bank digital currency could launch by the year 2030. Apparently, they've been having discussions. They're going to start a workshop kind of thing sometime next year where they basically sit together and discuss if they actually want to go through with this. Wink, even though we know that they're going to. However, the part that I really loved the most, it says that they won't be done with discussions about this at least until the year 2025, and then probably releasing one by the year 2030. If it takes them that long, this is simply not going to happen. By the time we get to a $1 million Bitcoin, a $43,000 Ethereum, a $22 XRP, a $19 Cardano, there's going to be no discussion of anyone using any type of centralized currency anymore. That simply will not be a thing. However, please go for it. I would love if you took another 9 years. That'd be great for all of us in the space, because once again, these things aren't going to actually make it. They're going to be centralized messes. They're going to try and work it interoperably with other companies and countries, and it's not going to really work because they're going to have one other centralized hub where all these coins have to actually pass through. No one's going to want to use anyone else's coin, and it's just going to be a bit of a mess. Anyway, I like news like this. It's kind of like the news that we used to get in 2017, where all these banks and institutions used to tell us, wink, that not only were they not into crypto, but cryptocurrencies were not a threat to the traditional markets because they were such a small market cap. So nice to see how that turned out. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, and let's move on. Chris, Hakeem Wilkins, Empire Queen, Stake It With Valor, Fudd, Wiser, Mortified, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealers Den, Red Plum Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Stefan Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay. Look at me reading. Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655. And Carlos was like, Mobirazzi, Jojo, Shawshow, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grole, Lauren De Silva, Quota Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy, all good. Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile, and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila Dahan, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarston, The Animal Reader, Abibiophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohan Maroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cody 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Wish III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mann, Giella Vody, Jim Garner, Jimmy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Chest, Everyday, and Kyle Skips, Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Venice, Mouse Coin and Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger and Macho Nisa, All Crypto with Lionel, Crayola, Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Hello to all of you out there. Thank you to everyone who left a like, commented, wrote what they thought about the Eternals. I had like an hour-long conversation with all my friends, and it became really dramatic, really fast. And I dare not even tell you to go see it for your opinion. I don't want you to waste your money. Thank you. Yeah, at the moment, Bitcoin is currently at $66,959. It is down by 1.48%. Super dramatic, right? Ethereum is down by 1.2%. Solana is moving up right now, down by 2%. Binance Coin is already, it hasn't even, didn't even really care about the dip right there. All the major altcoins are down by 1 to 2%. Shiba Inu is down by a disastrous 3.5%. I can't believe it. What a terrible number thing. Avalanche is up by 3. Litecoin is up by 6. Lumens is up by 3%. Anything dramatic? Phantom is down by 6. It's kind of dramatic. Near Protocol is up by 7. Helium, ironically, I like Helium and Avalanche just because they don't really match what they're supposed to be doing. Like Helium should be up and it's down by 6%, and Avalanche means down and it's always going up in price. I just like the names and the price movements. I find that fascinating. Loopring is up by 57%. I dare not ask what Loopring is because I'm sure there are about 16 people who could tell me exactly what it is and then would ridicule me for not knowing what Loopring is. But I would like to see Bitcoin up by 57% as opposed to something called Loopring. But that's just me. And look at that. And IOTA is still coin number 50. You got to give it to them. You really got to give it to them because that takes a lot of effort. No one's talking about you. No one's really using it. They have 121 million transaction value over 24 hours. Still coin number 50. Yeah. I do hope that you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are have had, continue to have, might potentially have at some point today a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See